Now, Obasanjo analyzed very clearly that only a very few people are not only
Yeah.
administering the resources, but also taking executive decisions for a larger number of people. The question I'd like to ask you
Yes.
is that not how it has been even in advanced democracies? He also said only a very few people represent a region, and those few people do not represent all. He's very correct. But a lot of people have also argued
Yes.
that Nigeria is a multiple or a plurality of nations. And in structuring or in designing the Nigerian democratic framework, all the ethnic nationalities, whether major or minor, should have been put into consideration. Because in as much as I listened to his speech and I read his note, it is not everything Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said that I totally personally agree with from my little knowledge of
Yes.
democracy. So that he has said
Okay.
is not exactly the Western styled democracy. It is a peculiarity of the African nations that have multi-ethnic nationalities within a place called a state. Like in Nigeria, we have the majorities, the Hausas, now the Hausa and the Fulanis, we have the Igbos, and we have the Yorubas. Then the minority, we have the Edo people, we have the Ibibio, we have the Efak people. We have all sorts of ethnic nationalities who ideally should be captured in the scheme of things.
So, like I said, in a democratic system, you have to start from the people. And how do you start from the people? You have to allow the people to determine who becomes their leader. That's where you will start from. Before you start talking about implementation of policies, ideas, resource control, and the rest, you have to make sure, according to the Constitution of Nigeria, that the people duly elect their leaders. And that is where we are not getting it right. We can't allow the judiciary system to determine who becomes our leader. We have seen the judiciary system making somebody who came third, fourth in an election a governor. So I'm trying to understand the dynamics. We have seen the judiciary system that told you that any cases, any issue before the election should be a pre-election issue matter, and it should not be brought forward after the election. That same judiciary system went back and still will remove a duly elected candidate because of pre-election matters. So I think Nigeria's biggest problem now is even the judiciary. The judiciary need to be looked into 100%, and the people who are causing this mayhem need to be dealt with decisively, need to be punished. In fact, they need to be punished publicly, because we are seeing a lot. It's just like now, you can run to become governor or president or senator or House of Rep member, even if the people don't vote for you. If you can get the judiciary to give you the opportunity, you can become the person that will sit on that seat, whether or not the people voted for you. And good luck has warned us before the last election that Nigeria democracy should not be a democratic system where it's the judiciary that determines who wins an election. What the judiciary should be able to do is either to uphold or cancel an election or to call for a rerun. That's, for me, that's what I think they should be able to do now, right? Because this issue about, look at Plateau State. The Supreme appeal is almost sitting a governor that was duly elected by the people. APC did not come any close to a PDP or Labour Party in Plateau State. But look at the direction it's going. Look at Kanu. Look at the direction it went. Look at the presidential election, that there were indices that INEC did not follow their electoral guidelines. What you would have done, bring in an entering government, cancel the election, and ask them to redo the election. The INEC must follow their guideline. You cannot create a guideline for an election process and you that created it, you did not follow it. That means you have breached your contract with the people. What happens when you breach your contract? The election should be rerun. But now that we have left democracy, we have entered into judicracy, where the judiciary determines who becomes the leader. I think that is why Obasanjo is saying what he's saying. That looking at what is happening in Nigeria today, because don't forget, in Liberia, a sitting president has just been on seat because of the will of the people. So if you want to experience democracy, first, the will of the people must come first. The will of the people must be the first thing first. Then we can now start looking at policies, right? And you cannot start looking at policies, or you cannot look at resource control. You cannot look at how it benefits, how a government benefits the people, if it's not the people that puts that person in power. Like the APC-led government now, if you find most of that decision is to please the politicians, because it's not the people that put him there in power. A president that was duly elected by the people will not approve for a senator to go and buy a jeep of 160 million, where you have over 180 or 150 million people who are facing with hunger and starvation. You will not do that. You will not increase fuel price from 180 naira to 700 naira if these people were the people who duly voted you in. But just because the APC-led government are not people-oriented, you should know that APC have never been people-oriented. Go and check Lagos State. Go and check the state where APC have led for more than 60 years. Go and check the people there. The people are suffering. They are paying double tax. They don't have a basic infrastructure. They don't have security. They are unemployed. The unemployment rate in Lagos is so massive that people are leaving Lagos to nearby states to go and work. So if we look at these indices, we cannot boldly say we are practicing democracy, but not because the Western democracy is not good. In fact, the Western democracy is better for us because, first of all, it gives you that liberty to be treated as human beings. It gives you that your fundamental human right to be able to vote for the person you want to lead you. And when you are able to vote in the person you want to lead you, you can now use that influence to ask the person to carry out policies that will favor the people. But when we leave the people, we now focus on individuals, on persons or party, it's no more democracy. A democratic system should be able to call high executives to order. We have somebody sitting as our president that have had a case of drugs, that have had case of forgery of certificates, that have had cases of embezzlement, and no court have been able to call him to order. And we call this democracy. The APC-led government, we are not practicing democracy anymore. We are moving into judicracy, where the judiciary determines everything that is done in this country, especially who becomes the leader, who leads us. And when you do that, you have sidelined the people. And when you sideline the people are no more interested in government. And when the people are no more interested in government, you cannot call that democratic system. So that is what I have to say concerning. I totally agree with him that the Western democracy, I will not say that it's not working, but I will say the APC-led government is not practicing democracy. And any forward-thinking Nigerian should kick against it, and make sure democracy is restored in Nigeria. Democracy in Nigeria has been kicked out by the APC-led government. I keep saying it. Nigeria's biggest problem today is the problem of APC. It's never the problem of Nigeria. Our constitution is so good. Our constitution is okay. It can be worked on. But if we can only do the norm, what the constitution have asked us to do, the process of electing a leader, if we can follow the guideline of the constitution, Nigeria will be much of a better place. But the APC-led government will not even allow you to follow the constitution. they will bypass the constitution and use the judiciary system to be able to influence the constitution and bring laws that is not applicable to the constitution. The constitution told us that if you forge a certificate, you are not qualified to be a president. And we have a president that have been said over time that the certificate he presented to INEC, to the electoral body, is not the original certificate given by that institution. That means there is forgery somewhere. So why is he there? It's the judiciary that have the power to remove him or to leave him there, and the same judiciary have left him there. So I don't know where else, what else. We cannot practice democracy in lies. We have to be honest. We have to have integrity. We have to have transparency for us to say we are practicing democracy. Thank you.